Good morning, everyone. This is Jody from Cody's General Store, and I am here again in the studio. We're going to have another one of our little talks. Remember, we're doing letters to God. Journaling is what we're talking about. And I have to admit, today I got up at 5. Normally, I like to get up at 4 if I've got a lot to do, which today is one of those days. But I slept in and didn't do my journaling, which that's okay. That's what our talk is going to be about, is God's presence in our everyday life. So even though I didn't get up and do my journaling, my brain dump, my letters to God, I call them all that, is getting everything out of my mind and onto paper. But I do draw into the presence of God just by thinking about Him, just by praising Him in my words without even having to stop. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm also going to do some, I promised you I'd finish up on, I don't know, finish, but get close to finish up on our decoupage paper. Because that also ties into my letters to God on a positive outlet that the Lord gave me. We're living our life here, and we have to live it to the fullest. We get to live it to the fullest. And that's the whole point, is God giving you things that bless you. And one thing that He healed me with was through art, crafts, whatever you want to call it. And so that's what I do, is this. Once again, we're going to finish this. We're going to do some blending on this just to kind of show you. I know there's a lot of people out there that love the decoupage paper. I love it because, gosh, you can do so much. I don't know if I can show you this one project I'm working on for a friend. Can you see it right there? Yeah, that's decoupage paper. It has it on the top, has it there, and now I'm working on the rest of the body there. But decoupage paper, you can't even tell it's paper. And so you are creative in whatever you create with that paper. It's like your own uniqueness. And that's what I'm living out, is my own uniqueness, even though we talked about the stories that we tell ourselves, the negative words that we say, the mindset that we've always had that kept us stuck, kept us not going forward, kept us in a negative view of our life, our future, and all. And with me, I share my experiences that my change came from God, tapping into that source that I serve a living God. And like I told you, I didn't even really know if He was real, true, loved us, cared about us, whatever. But I found out. And so that's what I want to share with you, is just some of the things that God has done in my life, some of the healing things. And like I said, whether you're a knitter or quilter or whatever, it really is a healing process in your life to go to that happy place, to be able to express yourself, to be able to live your true self out. So let's get going here. Hope you're all having a good morning. It's Monday morning here, and it's going to be good. It is good thus far. Okay, so let's get busy on this little project. Where are we going to start? What I want to do, I guess I'll show you this. I have color palettes here. I'm showing you all my messes. So I got out some of these sample things that I have of my chalk paint. So ones that I felt I could pull out the colors in this, I put in a little palette thing. So what I'm going to do now, I'll show you my brushes. I make a mess when I do this stuff. It's like, okay, let's play. But it's okay. So where should we start with this, guys? I've got some greens over here. I don't really have a green out, so we'll start with maybe some of the blues. I do have a blue out. And I also I like to offload a lot of my paint that I use. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to dip my brush over here, maybe in that color. I'm going to offload over here. You can't see me offloading. I'll show you offload just so you know. Yep, not seeing me. There we go. I'm just offloading. So I don't have tons of paint on my brush. That's all I'm doing. And so now I'm going over here and I'm going to mix different colors in here. And I'm doing you can't see me. Okay. Camera up. There, now you can see me. I'll move it up. So I'm just kind of stippling things on here, which I'm going to need to get another color over here. a darker color. We have a darker blue. Where is it? I brought some over here, but I'm not seeing a darker blue. I'll have to go get one. Duck egg. Nope. Anyway, see, this is how I start blending, little by little. All right, excuse me, guys. I gotta go grab a blue, a darker blue. I thought I had them all, but I don't. I did have it. Believe it or not, I was prepared. Sometimes I am so scatterbrained. My gosh. That's okay. So have all you been doing like journaling? Have you started doing that yet? Have you been practicing the journaling? And when I say practice, you know, it's like everything is a practice until it becomes a habit. We just keep doing it over and over until it becomes a habit. We need habits in our life, good habits, guys. Okay, so, and I don't know. I mean, how long do they say it takes to create a habit? Is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that? We've been talking a lot about the brain and what the brain does. And this color is really kind of dark, but we're going to put it on there because we're just kind of blending this stuff. As you notice, I'm getting on my paper because I can do that. I can get on my paper. Let's do a little bit more of the lighter color in there. Didn't take off enough. And this is so relaxing. For me, it is. It's just adding color, blending. It is truly relaxing for me. And this almost looks like it's going to be like a watercolor painting, doesn't it? So we talked about practicing the presence of God. So many different ways we can do that, guys. So many different ways. Just stop and think. My husband and I were talking about that, how when we get busy with our life, we don't stop and think. We don't start thinking about the things that might be important. People, for one thing, we know the people, relationships, that God created us to have relationships and also to love one another too. That's another important factor. See, now if you look, it's kind of blending in somewhat just by me switching over to different colors. It's kind of going in there. Let's see, maybe we'll try another color. This is called duck egg green. I don't know if it's green, it's called duck egg. So we're going to start with that in there, a little bit of green. Just kind of blending in. But you know, I've been reading stuff lately on the presence of God, and you know, people say, well, when I get to the mountains, I really feel like I'm in the presence of God. And that's because of nature. God created nature, and honestly, we see him in that nature, don't we? Well, that's looking pretty good, I think. Maybe I need a little bit more green. But what about practicing God, practicing the presence of God when we're not in things that we see, like negative things? Like, you know, I read that book on Corrie ten Boom. I think it was by her, when she was in the concentration camp, and she was, oh gosh, surrounded by how many people, you know, just zillions of people. I don't know how many were in this concentration camp, but they piled them all in there on bunks and one to another. And honestly, I thought to myself, you know, how could she call on you? How could she concentrate enough to worship you and to be in your presence? with all these people around. And I really thought that that was really encouraging to me because, when I concentrate on the things of God, I kind of want it kind of, quiet and mellow around me so I can draw into that. It's like praying, when you have lots of distractions, it's really hard to kind of draw into the presence of God. For me anyways, maybe not everybody, but for me it is. So I thought about her doing that she could do that. She was able to do that. God gave her the ability because in her heart she wanted to do it. In her heart, he was her savior and she wanted to draw on his presence. She wanted to talk. She needed to, let's face it. The trials that she went through, we don't know that. We got it made, honestly, guys, really. When you think about it, I've never been in a concentration camp. Maybe some of you that are listening to this have, if you're still alive from it. I got my cord getting in my way here. Let me move it. But how do we do that? It's a challenge because there's so many distractions in life. So it's like you kind of want to get away and just spend that time with our Lord to be able to just make that connection that, okay, he is alive. He does care about me. He loves me. Because like we talked about, we serve a living God, one that's alive, relationship. He wants a relationship with us. We talked about that we are people that were created for relationships. That's why one of the reasons that God blessed us with families is because of the relationships. And I guess when we begin to see that and appreciate that, then that's part of God's presence. It's part of him being there. I see that also too. I know we talked about going out in the mountains and birds. I've never really been into birds. I think we had a canary when I was a kid, but I've never been into them to really look at them and think about God. I wasn't a bird watcher. Well, I married a bird watcher. That man loves birds. His grandma had taught him when he was a young boy to go out in the woods and look at birds, just spot them, identify them. And of course, he lived in New Jersey. So in New Jersey, they have amazing birds, more so than we do, probably because of the humidity, the climate, the woods. And I'm in Oregon, so a little different here, but not any less. But anyways, recently, I just started watching the birds with him and thought, oh my gosh, they are so amazing to watch. We put a bird feeder up, right? One of those kinds that's stuck on your window. So we can really see them eating and moving around in there. And when I was doing my, which I'll go back to that, my live videos in my kitchen, I could stare while I'm talking to you. I could stare out that window and watch the birds eat, watch the little creatures. And, it did give me peace because to me that was God reassuring me and talking to me about the things that I was doing, the very presence of him and what I was doing right then. And like I said, what I was doing was talking to you guys. See? What do you think, guys? We're getting there. I might need to put some more green coming out of there, but see, when you blend the colors, it's pretty awesome, I think. You get that look that you want. I'll do a little bit more yellow. And see how relaxing and fun, honestly. This is my happy place, and I never knew it was. I never stopped. It's like they tell you, take time, stop, smell the roses, smell the coffee, whatever your thing is. And I never did before because I was so into it. Got to do this, got to do that. Oh, the kids want this. Oh, got a deadline on this. Oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Just so much stress and trauma and things that honestly, they really didn't matter. Yes, be responsible, do what you have to do, but to worry about them and to continue to let them ruminate over in your mind over and over, to me, it was a waste. To me, it was like, okay, I see things differently now. And I'm thankful that God has changed me and opened up my eyes to things in life that are beautiful, because like we talked about. I didn't always have that attitude about things in life. See, now we're kind of blending in a little bit, aren't we? I'm just picking up the colors. I don't have the exact colors, and I could blend if I wanted to, colors together to make it, but this is what I want to do. Because I want to show you how I can just carry it on there. Looks like I need some darker colors going out there a tad, which, I don't know, we're just playing around to see what those might be. Provence, I don't know if we should do this. This is probably going to be a little bright purple. Could go there with it. We'll try a different area. Like I said, this kind of looks like a watercolor. If you guys didn't catch on, I think we did this last Friday. This is, flip it over, an old tile. I got it at a garage sale. And I used decoupage paper to make it into kind of like a picture on there. But see, now I'm starting over here with a little bit more blue, and I'm using all anti-slip chalk paint. You can use any kind of paint you want. But this is what I'm blending with right now, is that. You might use a little bit of green in there too, just to kind of pick up some colors. And like I said, I don't have tons of green, so maybe we'll use a little yellow just to lighten it up. Now remember, I can't see the comments on this now. I got to get more technical with this stuff. But you can comment. In fact, I'd like you to, because I'd like to know who's listening and where you're at or what's going on. Because like I said, God laid this on my heart to share. So that's what I want to do. But I care about you, and I'd like to hear even your story, even if you want me to pray for you. I am definitely a prayer girl. That I believe in major. I believe God has a plan for us all. It's going to be awesome. See, as you can see, I'm going on this paper too, because I don't necessarily want you to see where my paper begins and ends. And as you remember, we did go over this with water to trim it, water and tear. All right, what colors? What if we throw a little blue in there? Just kind of making it our own. Easy peasy. That's what I always tell people. They always want me to do their furniture for them. And I'm like, you could do it. It's easy. Oh, no, I could never do that. You could. Because like I said, I'm not an artist per se. I do have artistic talents because I was created in God's image. So I have to say that. And we're just blending, blending, blending. And I did bring, which we can try over here. I don't know what I did with, there it is. I'll show you this. This right here is a sea sponge. I cut it off of a big piece. I'm going to spray it. Not a whole bunch, but enough to make it a little bit more pliable because they can be kind of hard. Make sure it's kind of drained out. And it's got soap in it. It's got soap in it. I didn't rinse it well enough, so now we got soap. But let's just try it. I'm just going to dab it a little bit so you can get the idea in this. And right here. Let's go up here with the paint. And I didn't download it, so we got globby globbies. But this is something you can always use for a tool to paint. You don't have to stick with brushes. I did a piece, should we say, a buffet. And it was a grungy looking one. I love that buffet, and that did just sell too. But I did one with palettes, all with palette knives, and it was pretty awesome looking, really. But that was the first time I tried that. I take a lot of classes because I can't stop growing. I love this stuff, and it's like once in my life, I finally decided. When I was in high school, I hated school. I absolutely hated school because of the belief that I was dumb. I wasn't smart enough to accomplish anything, but that was a lie. That wasn't true. But I believed it. So if I believed it, then that's what I performed at, right? So let's not believe those lies. Let's believe what God speaks over us. We talked about that before too. What does God say over us? What does God speak over me? The truth and who He created me to be. It'd be kind of neat to put a little pink there. Huh? I wonder if we could do that. Actually, we can do anything we want. It's our creative time. So I got a little pink. I'm dabbing off. Let's see if we can bring some of that in. And you notice I go on my paper and I go out. Love this. Go a little bit on the blue. Because this is where my paper was torn too. And I kind of want to go over that just to draw it out a little bit. I'm going on my pink flowers. See? Just need more blenders. Need to get rid of some of that real blue. Maybe we'll put some yellow over there. But anyways, what we're talking about is drawing on the presence of the Lord, which we can do anytime, any day, any way. Just thanking Him. Thankfulness is another thing that truly is a positive thing to put you forward in your life. It is. God showed me that a while ago, that you really need to thank Him, praise Him because of the life that He gave you, and that you are going to be all that you were created to be. Anything is possible with God. You wouldn't know that considering the lies that we tell ourselves, or the lies the evil one puts in our head. It can be both ways. Sometimes we're our own worst enemies, that Satan doesn't need to do anything, that we're right there helping him. I know I was, and I don't know how you guys feel about that. See, it's starting to take on shape, little by little. I kind of like to jump around a little till I get the full picture, and then we just kind of critique it and blend in. So now we're over here doing this. But that's another way to do your decoupage paper, guys, is to cut it zaggy. As you've seen, this paper would have filled this whole thing and I wouldn't have had to do any blending. But I wanted to show you blending, how easy it is on the paper. It really is. I know blending on furniture can be a little difficult. You can do it, but it's one that practice. You have to do practice on that. I did. Let's see, where are we going with this? Blue, that color. I'm trying to find all my colors that I did. Maybe that's that. That's that. I talk to myself when I paint, guys, but I'm really not talking to myself. I'm talking to you because you're there with me, right? So I'm putting some of this over here, just dabbing colors in, blending. And I think I should have put maybe a little bit more purple, not purple, gosh, listen to me. The blue. Well, I don't know how many minutes we've been going on, guys, but I think it's been a while. So I think I'm gonna have to finish this by myself. What do you think? We're not done yet. We're still blending. There's our bottom. And we'll blend more and more into, and I'll work on this side, and then I'll put a top coat on it. And, you know, also too, if we were dealing with food near this, we could put a top coat on it that was food safe. We do that on some of our cutting boards that we make and decorate. Okay, guys, that's it for today. So remember, if you have comments, please put them down because I would love to answer you. I'd love to talk to you. So remember, choose joy. It's a choice in life. It really, really is. We can think positive things. We can rewire our brain. We can change our mindset. And we have God's power and Him 100% behind us because He did create us to be more than we're living right now. And me included in that. This is a process, it's a journey, but it should be a happy journey. Bittersweet. We live in this life and there's things that happen, but we serve a living, loving God. Okay, guys, thanks for joining.